So today I'm going to be recording with the Obs on Aggro, almost borderline mid-range list that I played at the Pro Tour. Um, I didn't do so well there, just a little bit of jet lag and a little bit of lack of experience with the archetype and the format led me to not play at my best. But the deck was obviously very good because because someone that wasn't Brad went 8-2 with it. But Brad also went 9-1 with it, which, I mean, I don't know if that's just Brad or just the deck or both, but it was really good. So overall, one of the things I kind of want to point out about what this list is there's okay. Starting from the top, we designed it to beat red green monsters, or red green dragons as it is now, and as a result, we had to play a lot of removal. And one of the side effects of playing a lot of removal is you need every creature in your deck to be a real hard hitter. You can't play cards like Heir of the Wilds because if you just have an Heir in play and you're just chip-shotting them for 2 every turn, it kind of sucks. You have to play with all good ones. So as you can see, we don't have heirs. We still have the lions and the death dealers, which are backbreaking if you just have them and a bunch of mana. We have Surok, which hits real hard, real fast, and can actually race basically anything. We got Siege Rhino, we have Anafenza, and then we have Warden, which it's a little weird on the early curves. It's not really a one-drop, but it does take over in the late game. So we have all these really heavy hitter cards to draw to, along with all of these great removal spells. Which includes Obs Charm, which kind of ties this all together in terms of being able to overload on removal for big creatures, while still being able to filter through enough to find action. You'll notice a lot of Dramoka's command. We're trying to get some flexibility in with our removal suite to kill relevant enchantments like Outpost, Siege, or Jeskai Ascendancy. It's also kind of a blowout if it ever gets to kill Courser and a mana creature with sack a creature and fight, or sack an enchantment and fight, or if it counters a removal spell. And Valor Stance because we needed a bit of a flex slot against control to kind of let us just board properly to beat their cards. You can't have too many Heroes Downfalls against them, even though they're okay, because they tend to have post-board Tasigur, or just you need to kill their Ugin. But Valor Stance lets you have a card that you don't have to sideboard out that does something, just so you can build your main deck in the correct configuration. 26 lands also lets us play a bunch of tap lands and always hit our mana. This deck is boarding out a land often inside of the Urborg or the Mana Confluence. 2 planes is there, so you can play these awesome white-white spells later in the post-board games, which I'll get to in a minute. And it's worth noting that Surok does get boarded out quite a bit on the basis of post-board. There's a lot of grindier games where you trade a lot of cards, so it's a lot less likely for you to have a creature in play a Surok, and just slam. It's more likely that you play a Surok, and then if they don't kill it, well, they didn't kill your creature, so you probably won the game anyways. As for the sideboard, you got a lot of spot answers. Glare handles Jeskai Ascendancy and is one of the better cards in the mirror. Drown for mono red, ultimate price, just kind of all around, and also against the dragon decks. Thoughtseize is really specifically against decks that are not very threat dense, or decks that you have to attack their hand like blue-black. You don't actually want this in a lot of matchups, just because your mana, it doesn't curve out very smoothly. With getting your mana to actually work. And it's also just kind of like you'd rather fight them on the board and take advantage of them having to spend time to do things. And then we have the sideboard hitters to board up into a mid-range deck. So Elspeth, Wingmate Rock is the big breaker, Sorin is kind of this mid-ground card. Yeah, I'm excited to get to play more with this deck because honestly, it's definitely better than I am.